Hello class, we are in chapter 6.4 learning about the power of water and wind. In class, we did learn about the importance of natural resources, and as we were learning about the natural resources, we did learn about the importance of water and the importance of wind. Today in chapter 6.4, we're going to learn how water and wind um, were used to create engines. So first off, let's go and learn about wind. How was wind used to create engines? First off, we do have to know how are winds created? How are winds produced? So it's not only air, but it's a combination of air with something else, and it will be the combinations of the sun's heat and the air to produce wind. So the sun's heat causes air to move and produce winds. Now, using that natural resource, air and wind, what engine did we create? The first engine is one of our earliest engines that we created using a natural resource was a sailing vessel. A sailing vessel is one of the earliest engines. How will this engine work? It will actually use air, which is a kinetic energy, to move. So we did learn about kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? Is something in motion. And air is constantly moving. So it will use air, which is constantly moving, to move what? To move this sailing vessel. But moving on, what's another engine that we created using a natural resource? This will be something known as a windmill. Some of you know it as a windmill. Some of you know it as a wind turbine. You can call it either or, but we will learn it in both ways. A windmill is also known as a wind turbine, which are a wheel of blades or sails that is set on a horizontal shaft or pole. Now, how will this engine work? Because this engine is not there for decoration, but this engine is there to actually produce some energy. How would this wind turbine create energy? Uh, as you can see, those are huge blades. What will move those huge blades? Wind will actually move those huge blades. As wind is constantly moving those huge blades, what will happen as those blades are moving? It will produce some energy. Now, we did have wind turbines though, but we did have some guy that tried to make a different design of a wind turbine, which was the Darius wind turbine. Actually, this certain design is not successful. Um, you can do further research and find out why the Darius wind turbine was not successful. But as you can see in my picture though, it is a pretty good design. And if I read the what I have for it, some of you are gonna say, why was this not successful? Well, what you can do is you can do some further research and then you can go ahead and tell me, um, posting a video on one of your portfolios and tell me why was the Darius wind turbine not successful again. But this is not something that you have to do. It's going to be optional. So the Darius wind turbine has long blades which are curved in a way that allows the turbine to make use of wind coming from any direction. So it doesn't have to be a wind coming from the left or wind coming from the right, but it can actually catch that wind from any direction. So once you listen to that though, it's like it is a pretty good design. But again, the Darius wind turbine was not successful. But we did learn how we created engines using wind. But what if we did not have wind? Because we have some days which we have no wind. Now, what are we going to do when we have no wind? We are going to use the power of water. Now, where did we use and what did we create using the power of water is something known as the water wheel. Water wheels uses the power of moving water. Again, that is kinetic energy, moving water to turn the blades of a water wheel. Most of the time, you're going to see water wheels nearby textile factories. also known as mills, because they use water wheels to do what? To produce energy. Now let's go and learn different engines that were created using a water wheel. So the use of a water wheel. So first off, a sawmill. Now, how was a sawmill created using a water wheel? In the beginning, um, to move that huge saw, we needed two people to actually move that huge saw. Now, for us, it's actually very, very hard because we are using so much energy just to move that huge saw. So what people did, they created this engine, which was the water wheel. And instead of having now two people, this huge saw moved by itself with what? With the water wheel. So as the wheel turned, this saw moved. So as you can see, very neat and creative engine. Now, what else did we create using the water wheel? Which we created the flying shuttle and the power loom. And other engines that we created was the spinning jenny and the water frame. So instead of having a person spinning, we did have the water wheel. So as the water wheel spinned, the spinning jenny also spin at the same time. So it actually made life easier for us, I'll say. So engines made stuff easier for us. So instead of us using that energy, we were using what? Natural resources that was created by God, that was given by God to make things easier. So that was actually chapter 6.4. We did learn about the power of water. We did learn about the power of wind. What you're going to do, you're going to read chapter 6.4. And after that, you are going to do the comprehension check for chapter 6.4. In addition, this is optional. You don't have to do it. Is you can research why the Darius wind turbine was not successful. And later you're just going to post a video on your portfolio and I will watch your video and make some comments about what you have researched. So that was all for chapter 6.4. Goodbye.